There are a whole lot of magic moments that you can do at Disney World. Here's a few that my family and I got to experience. If you ever go to a Disney park, there's a lot of special moments that may or may not happen to you, many of which you'll never see, that we call magic moments. They're special things where just a very few people get to experience them, but they're just a special moment. One that most people are aware of, for example, is the first family. This is the family that gets to ride in with Mickey and all the characters on the train right up to the front of the park and help open up the park with Mickey and everybody, throw out the confetti, and have a whole lot of fun while they do that. They get picked before the park gates even open. They get taken out into the back and get a real special moment. We never got to do that, but there are a whole lot of other special moments and things to do that we got to experience and do. Just because working there, we were there often enough that we happened to trip and stumble into some of them. Others we were able to do because I happened to know about them from working there and was able to work out special circumstances so that we were able to experience it. One example, they used to be open for everybody, but no longer is because of a tragic accident a few years back, is riding in the front of the monorail train with the driver. If you had 4 or 5 of you and you asked and they had room, they would allow you to ride up in the front compartment there with the driver and sit with the driver and talk to him while he's driving the monorail around. And we got to do that a couple times. Really a lot of fun. More fun depending upon how talkative and excited the driver is. Some of them were really just boring and moving the lever this way and not talking a lot. Others were very excited about their job and a lot of fun. But it was just kind of a neat thing to be able to do. Unfortunately, you can't do it anymore, but it was neat while it lasted. Hopefully someday they'll be able to open that up again. There were other special moments that would happen once a day. For example, in the Magic Kingdom, if you're one of the very first people to make it over into Fantasyland, they may ask you to help wake up Tinkerbell. And my daughter, who's a big Tinkerbell fan, got to do that one time. That's where you walk into Tinkerbell's gift shop just on the other side of the castle. They'll hand you a wand and you tap this box and you'll see Tinkerbell flash all around the store and start flying around. Just kind of a neat moment to start off the day. My son had a special one too at the fire station where he got to go over to the fire station. They put a fireman's hat on him and he got to ring the bell to open up the fire station. The really cool thing about this, even though he looks rather underwhelmed in the pictures, is that he got to do it on Christmas Eve of all days. How cool is that to be able to open up the fire station on Christmas Eve? We also had a couple really neat special moments over at Epcot as well. Over in the Journey to Imagination, when you get off of the ride, there was a whole deal there where they had a big giant camera and they could do some experiments. Well, my kids got picked one time coming off the ride to be able to put on these lab coats and glasses and do some funny little things with the people doing the show and then get a picture taken. So we've gotten to keep the picture of them doing that all these years. Just a random moment in the park that happened. Another one that was a lot of fun was during the Christmas season. We were traveling around Epcot's World Showcase listening to different storytellers, and we got over to Norway where a lady named Sigrid tells the story of their mischievous elf. An elf named, and I'm going to mess this up, named Julenessen. And so Julenessen plays a lot of pranks and things. The storyteller is telling the story. He actually comes out and starts playing jokes on her, like taking her bell and stealing it and giving it to somebody in the audience. Well, my son just happened to be the one that he picked to give the bell to, and next thing he knows, he's up on stage being part of this show, while the elf keeps stealing the bell and giving it to Joseph, while the lady's kind of frozen, and then she comes to and starts scolding, "Why do you keep stealing my bell?" So it was a lot of fun. He was a little embarrassed and awkward because he gets that way sometimes in front of people, but it was a great special moment to have. Another one happened to me at Epcot on my birthday of all days. Several of the World Showcase players knew me, and one of the shows that they used to have on the World Showcase in Italy and over in England was a group called the World Showcase Players, quite randomly enough. And they would put on these really goofy, funny shows, almost kind of like a takeoff of Monty Python. And in England, they did a version called The Quest for the Holy Grail. And there would be all sorts of crowd interactions. They would get the crowd cheering at them at certain parts and responding with certain things. For example, every time somebody said the word Grail, everybody in the crowd would go, "Grail, Grail, Grail." Or, "What do you think of the show so far?" "Rubbish!" It's just a lot of fun. Well, on my birthday, I was out there with some other guys, and a couple of the people recognized me and saw my birthday button, and next thing I knew, I was part of the show. It was a lot of fun. The hilarious thing was I ended up being Sir Galahad, which meant I wore a big G on my chest, and that just happens to be my first initial. Who knew? Unfortunately, I've heard that they don't have them out there anymore either, which would be just a tragedy because they were one of the highlights. Every time I was visiting the park, I always made sure to go see the World Showcase players in both Italy and England because they were hilarious. One of the really special moments that we got to experience, though, was a point in time where I knew I was changing parks, and I was actually in the process of transitioning, where I had to do this 30-day quit my job and then maybe come back, and it worked out, I got to come back, but I thought I might have been working one of my last days, and so my family had come in the park, and while I was shooting pictures, they were actually tagging around sometimes, seeing where I was shooting, walking with me, watching what I was doing, while they were still enjoying rides and attractions. Well, I knew the people that did the Family Fun Day Parade, which was a little parade that they did 2 or 3 times during the day, and they would basically come down Main Street, circle the Castle Hub, have a whole bunch of music and dancing and a whole lot of fun, and then they go right back again. Well, they would also pick one family for each one of these who could ride along as the Grand Marshals, and then they would get to participate in it, jump out of the car, have some fun, and go back. Here's where I pulled a couple little strings, because I knew the people who picked the family, and so I caught them early that day and said, hey, I think this might be my last day. I know it's my last one officially working at Magic Kingdom. So can I ask a big favor? And so they allowed my family to be the Grand Marshals while me, as the photographer, got to take their picture while they're in the parade. Took all these pictures on PhotoPass, put them on the card, got to save them, had a blast watching my kids and wife ride in the car and waving at everybody and having a great time. And then I forgot to buy the pictures because I didn't have enough money. Oy. But it was still a lot of fun. Just a really neat moment. To be the Grand Marshal of Disney Parade, hey, who gets to do that? Well, my family got to. Possibly one of the most special moments, though, was something that really was kind of unexpected and unplanned. As I mentioned earlier, my daughter is a big Tinkerbell fan. Tinkerbell for a long time was her absolute favorite Disney character. I'd been working at the park for a couple years, and her birthday was coming up, and I was trying to come up with something special for her. Tinkerbell was not out at the park meeting people. She might show up in a parade occasionally waving, but otherwise you didn't see Tinkerbell at all. And so I was talking with a couple of my coworkers that, my daughter loves Tinkerbell, and I know there's no way for her to meet Tink because Tink doesn't come out at all. And so I'm trying to come up with something really nice and special for her. Well, lo and behold, one of my coworkers says, hey, I know Tinkerbell. I can do something for her. And went and found a piece of paper, a little 4x6 piece of glossy paper, and they got Tinkerbell to sign it real special, not just a regular autograph, but a special decorated autograph just up for her birthday. And so for her birthday, I got to come home with a little picture frame that I bought and this autograph in it and say, there you go. Nobody's got one of those. Now, Tinkerbell, of course, comes out in the parks and gets to meet people now and do some autographs. But at the time, nobody had that. That was really special for her to be able to open that up on her birthday and see, wow, I got Tink's autograph. We got to do a lot of other things too as families, but those are some of our favorite special moments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of my favorite little family memories and special moments we got there. Magic moments you can look for too. I hope you're enjoying this. If you did, please hit that like button. Share this with your family and friends. Make sure that you're subscribed with that button. Hit that. Make sure you're on my subscription list. That way you'll get all my new videos. Also, if you want to see more of my videos, hey, check that out right there. There's another good one right for you. I love my patrons. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Those of you who do, I really appreciate it. If you want to join that, you can do it really cheap, and there's all sorts of incentives. Just check out my Patreon right there. Thank you so much.